This is day 3 of reviewing every LEGO set in our collection until we run out. Today we have set number 75364, the New Republic Ewing vs SHIN HATI'S STARFIGHTER. This set released in the fall of 2023 and has 1,056 pieces, retails for 140 Canadian, 110 US, and 73.5 euro. This box shows an action shot of the two fighters in a chase scene and has the Ahsoka marking on the front to represent the show. On the back of the box it gives a more detailed look at the set and a few of its new features like the landing gear, but only on one ship. This is another set that comes with a space battle similar to the Mandalorian one and the X-Wing and the TIE Fighter. I hope LEGO continues to do this because I think it's a good thing to have opposing sides in one LEGO set. The New Republic minifigures are unfortunately lacking in my opinion. The first one is this Swedish astromech. The yellow legs look pretty good contrasting with the blue. The blue on mine, however, on the head is a different shade than its body. I don't know, that might just be me nitpicking, but it is something to note. Otherwise, I think this is a pretty cool colored astromech, and I think they did a pretty good job. The next one we have is Captain Porter, and I personally am not a big fan of this one. The bodysuit on the back just doesn't look right to me. However, the rest of the figure looks okay. I do really like the helmet that they have. It comes with two faces, one with Porter and his visor, and the other comes without. Next up we have Morgan Elsbeth, and I really like the color on this figure and the new hairpiece. I really don't like how bland the bottom of the dress piece is. It's just one big black block, similar to what they use for Palpatine and some of the other sets. However, the figure overall is pretty good. However, I really do like the new SHIN HATI minifigure. Silver arms are a new touch and I really like how they did that. Otherwise, it has front printing with the little Padawan ponytail on the front, and the back is just more belt and other markings. The legs have front printing, which looks pretty good, and there's also a new hairpiece. Her face does look kind of strange with the eyes they chose to do on this one. But other than that, it's a pretty good figure, and overall I think it's done really well. The next one is my personal new favorite, Baylan Skoll. Comes with a new head, and I really like how the green sticks out on the black, especially in the belt and on the torso. Other than that, he has the same kind of back printing that SHIN HATI has, and the front just has robe printing like most other things Star Wars characters do. The build process is pretty positive for both of these ships. The Ewing uses some pretty cool techniques to create the shape of the wings. Overall, I found it quite enjoyable. I also like building the landing gears and getting to see the way that they were going to function. SHIN HATI'S STARFIGHTER is a bit smaller, but I still think that the build is pretty interesting, but there's nothing crazy beyond the main engine piece in the front that uses some Technic pins to create. Both sets have some pretty cool features, starting with the Ewing that has the retractable landing gears that actually retract pretty reasonably well for a LEGO set. It also has a place for the astromech droid to sit right behind the cockpit. That looks pretty good. When you open the cockpit, there's a new unique way to put the minifigure in. You simply pick this part up, take it out, and underneath there's some storage. Then you put Captain Porter on top and put him back in just like this. On the front you can see that there's a tile with a sticker on it. When you take that off, you can see one Technic pin that runs all the way up to the front, creating the nose shape on this starship. Now moving down the middle, at the back there's some engine pieces on top and some detailing up there. Moving farther back, you can see that right at the back of the ship, there's some more engine detailing. Along the fuselage, there's some more stickers that add some extra detail that actually looks pretty good. Along with some stud suiters that are just right at the front of the wings. Looking underneath, you can see the new engines, which actually have some pretty good detail under the ship, for something you're not going to see. It's tiled off really well. Then at the back, you see the thrusters with the purple pieces on the back. Moving to the front, where you can see the front of the turbines connected to the engine. Moving farther out to the wings, you see the guns, which there's actually two of on each side. This little smaller one's also supposed to be a gun, along with this bigger one at the very end. These flaps on the ends move in and out. I don't know why you'd want to move them, but if you want to, you can. Overall, the Ewing's actually a pretty solid build. SHIN HATI'S STARFIGHTER is quite a bit smaller. The detailing on the side is really well, especially with the stickers, with the paint being removed, showing that it's an older and beat up starship. On the sides, there's these guns or wings. I'm not really sure what they are, but they're kind of only held in by 8 studs, so if you're flicking it around, they can fall off if you're hard enough with them. Moving in, we have the stud shooters that are connected right by the engine, and I'm not a fan of these, but if you're going to put them somewhere, I guess that is the best spot to put them. Then in between the stud shooters, there's the new engine piece, which actually pops right off just like that. And then if you look in the front, you can see that the turbine, which is supposed to be powering the engine. Moving back, there's the gun piece, and this whole thing pops off, revealing a storage compartment for anything you want to put in there. You can even fit a minifigure in there. Looking at the bottom of the storage piece, you can see this little black stud, and if you pull it up, there's even more storage with a gun down there. This is a cool feature, being able to pop the guns off. I always love more storage in a LEGO set. Moving farther back, you get to the cockpit, which has this nice printed yellow piece on the front of it. And then inside there's a bunch of room for her to be laying down in the cockpit. Then at the back of the ship there's this opening red hatch which you can store Shin Hati's lightsaber inside. Overall, this speeder has a pretty sleek design and I actually really like how it turned out. The only thing to be noted is that on the bottom there is no landing gear on this set. It simply sits on these clear circular tiles and that's how it sits. Overall, the set is relatively fairly priced. I just don't see a lot of a point for the E-Wing. I think it could have just been released with Shin Hati's speeder by itself and the E-Wing by itself, and then cut the price in half so you can decide which one you want. The E-Wing is a good build, but it's kind of just a generic ship to me. However, I do understand a lot of people have been waiting for an E-Wing since there hasn't really been one since 2013 Check 14's E-Wing, which isn't really a part of Star Wars. It's its own Yoda Chronicles set, so I understand. I do think the blue and white on the E-Wing looks really good, and the astromech is a positive addition to this set. I think Shin Hati's speeder is done really well. I would have liked to see it a little bigger, and maybe done something with the wings on the outside. But I know this is pretty accurate to the show. I do like the kind of rugged look that the Starfighter has, as if it's been through many battles in space. Both builds are very sturdy, and by shaking them around and playing with them, I really don't think many parts are going to fall off, if any at all. Even the astromech is held in really tightly in the top of the E-Wing. Overall, I do think this set is done really well, and I would recommend that if you like the Ahsoka show, you're going to like this set. However, if you just want a cool new ship, there might be some better options out there for you at the moment. However, the two quote-unquote Sith minifigures in this set are really good, and they're both done very well. Overall, to end this review, I'm going to give this set a 7 out of 10. Let me know what you think. Do you agree? Did you pass on it? Did you buy it? And comment what you want to see reviewed next.